up until about 3 o'clock, so he's going to jet down here when he's done with that. Try to remember to talk into the mic for Tyler this time. Chris just shot me a note. He's running about 5 minutes behind. And Tori is joining us from, is it Minnesota, Tori?
Yes.
Welcome. No announcements?
No.
Any public comment? Okay. Minutes are on the YouTube channel, as they have been for the past several months. No approval is necessary at this time, correct? Okay. If you want to see anything, we've got the link there provided in the agenda. Move on to new items for consideration. Item 2A, Sustainability Board. Nina? Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Nina Rasmussen. I'm the Environmental Quality Specialist in Public Works and Utilities, and I'm also the staff liaison for the Sustainability Integration Board, which, as many of you know, is a newly formed board that will consist of 14 members, 7 of those being appointed from mayor and city council, and 7 from existing boards. And those boards are boards that we feel are relevant to sustainable and green initiatives. And so this board was one of the boards chosen to appoint a member to the Sustainability Integration Board. And so I'm here to advocate for the board and to ask you all to pick someone from your board who would be a good representative for the Sustainability Integration Board. And just to give you a little bit of background in case you're unfamiliar with it, basically this board will be helping to bring forward sustainability matters affecting the city of Wichita and Wichita's long-term livability and economic vitality. And so this will include advancing goals on energy use practices, emissions reduction, public transportation, renewable energy expansion, climate resiliency, which is a broad topic, waste practices, but then also community outreach initiatives and educating the public on what the city is doing and how we're being a livable, sustainable society moving forward, especially as we see changes in our climate and longer fire seasons, things like that are impacting the community's health. And so the board is really focusing on those 3 aspects of environmental stewardship, social responsibility, and also economic development. And eventually this board will be tasked to help put together an adaptation and mitigation plan for climate-related issues in the future. And so this board will help to not only create ordinances to bring to the mayor and city council, but we'll work with staff very closely to see what they are working on and provide some insight and some guidance on projects that different departments may have. And so the reason why this is an integration board is we want to make sure that different departments are being involved in sustainability and that it isn't just siloed to one department. We want to make sure that everybody is involved and knows what the board is doing, and the board knows that everything that all these departments and aspects are doing as well. That way we can make sure that this is an effective way to integrate these solutions into our city for future growth. And so with that, I just want to note that we have scheduled our first meeting for December 1st, 6 to 7 p.m. Here in the boardroom. It is also a hybrid meeting, so there is a Zoom link as well for those that would prefer to attend virtually. And in the new year, we'll be scheduling meetings probably that vary. We might have alternating meeting times, either in the afternoon or in the evening, considering it's a very, very large board and we won't be able to, probably won't be able to have the same time every single month in order to meet everyone's schedules. So we will keep that in mind when we are going about scheduling in the new year. None of that has been solidified just yet. So if that December 1st time doesn't work, not a big deal. We will definitely have more in the future, and we will not be establishing any roles this meeting. We'll be going over the basics of the board, roles, or the responsibility that the board will entail. And then any questions or concerns there may be about the board going forward in the future. And so that's all I have for that. I would open it up to any questions if you have any.
Any questions for Nina?
Yeah, you mentioned seven of the appointees are going to be appointed by council members or the mayor. Do you know the other seven? Obviously, the park board is one of those other seven that'll be invited.
Let's see, we have stormwater, transit, mayor's youth council, metropolitan planning, diversity and inclusion, and civil rights. I think I might be missing one, but I can follow up with a full list.
Oh, you're fine. I think it's just one more, but I guess I ask because is there specific like expertises or perspectives that you're looking for?
Yes, it ranges quite a bit because we don't want, one siloed perspective.
Yeah.
We're looking for educators, people who have experience in energy or environmental issues, but you don't have to be a scientist to be qualified for this board. We are looking for people who are passionate about these issues, who would advocate for actionable change that will positively impact the community in the future.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Nina? See none. Thanks, Nina. I guess this would be for staff. Do we want to appoint somebody now or talk about it now? And then do we have to vote on that?
So a couple of things. Let me just add, as a staff member, I'm really excited about this. We always are looking for representation from the park board or from the Parks and Recreation Department, soon to be Cultural Arts and Parks and Recreation. We're always looking for that representation. So for us, I'm really excited that somebody from the board will be able to represent that. And more the topics in regards to sustainability, environmental care is just a huge topic right now. And I think it's one area that we're really, really weak on. 7 years ago, I came here from Austin, and this was something that was built in every day into everything that we worked on and addressed. And it's definitely a weakness that we have here. So I'm looking forward to working with this person, whoever is selected. So yeah, if you guys can appoint somebody and then you guys vote on it, that way we could pass the name on.
Do you want me to give you a list of, since it's my field, what I do as an environmental engineer, I know quite a few other environmental engineers in the city, so.
Maybe you might be
Yeah.
it's a park board.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so when Nina was talking just now, I was,
Okay.
looking over at you, you're taking notes, and, that was the first person that
Oh,
that popped
okay.
in my head, so.
I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't realize it was- We appointed someone or if they wanted someone from the board, so.
From the board.
Okay.
Well, if everybody's good with that, I would nominate Phil Simon.
I second that nomination.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thanks, Phil.
You're welcome.
So Phil will be our representative, and that kind of goes with the theme that I think eventually everybody from the park board will have their hand in one thing or another. So Golf Advisory Committee.
Parks Foundation.
Parks Foundation, exactly. Yep, so we'll have one for everybody. We'll find one for you. I'm sure we will.
Sure.
So hopefully that takes care of what you needed. And I think it was great that we did this officially in a meeting, and this also gives it more credence. This actually goes, it's recorded, and if anybody has any questions or whatnot, they can see what our intent is and what the desire is behind this. So it's even better. Thanks.
Awesome. Okay, item 2B, South Seneca Estates drainage easement.
So real quick, I'll kind of set the stage for us on this. Down at South Lakes Park, over on the east side of the park, there was a development that was put in, and that got built, and now they're doing there's another section on the east side of the park that is right there off of Seneca that they're planning on doing another development. And so it's called the South Seneca Estates, and they're asking about a drainage easement. And so we have Eric Glover here with Garver, and he's going to present the idea. We also have invited John Philbrook with Property Management, as he's got history on this kind of stuff to make sure we're following the right rules and give the right permission. I am not a development expert by any means, so Eric, thank you for coming and talking about this.
Sure. Can everybody see this? Can everybody see the exhibit? Okay, what we're looking at is, this is between 47th South and 55th South on Seneca. It's a little infill project. It's a single cul-de-sac to serve 20-ish lots down there. It's landlocked between other subdivisions, and it's adjacent to that park, one of the ponds that we would be looking to carry our stormwater through an easement into those ponds. I did a drainage analysis and worked with Joe Hickel, and he approved that. It has very minimal impact on that pond system. It's such a big pond system and such a small drainage basin from this project, especially compared to the upstream drainage basin. So any questions that you might have?
So right here is Seneca Street, and here's the development, and then here's the South Lakes Pond. So the easement would kind of just go out there on the edge of the property and follow in and drains into South Lakes Park. So some of the discussion was, how's that going to affect the pond? Drainage, it's going to, on a storm event, it's going to fill the pond up too much. Fertilizers and stuff draining into all that. So that was some of the questions that we had.
What was the answer on some of those?
So in the largest storm event, we studied the 100-year. The small, so the pond system is basically three ponds. There's a larger one and two kind of satellite smaller ponds connected to it. And just for conservative sake, we only studied the impact on the smallest pond. But once that big storm event happens, it's all one pond. But the impact on the smallest pond, it would only raise the elevation of the smallest pond half a foot. It's actually slightly less than that. But when you take the overall size of the basin or of the pond system, the change in elevation is negligible. I mean, hundredths of a foot.
So it's more than adequate to take the runoff.
Oh yeah, it's far more than adequate.
Does the pipe filter into any kind of plant material before it hits the pond, or does it go directly into the pond?
The pipe would go straight into the pond. We would, on our last inlet in the subdivision, before it exits the subdivision, there's a system called a snout. And what that is the inlet's extra deep. So if the flow out of your pipe is up here, the inlet's 5 foot deeper, and there's a plastic hood over the outlet of the pipe. And what that does is, especially your smaller storm events or your events that carry silt, those events would hold the water in the inlet. It wouldn't allow that silt to go out. The hood would block it, and then that silt would settle to the bottom. Trash floatables would not be able to leave the system. Now, it's on the developer, the HOA, whoever's managing it, to clean that out once a year, and that's a city system, water quality, what we have to abide by. So our last inlet out of the system before it exits and goes into the pond would have a snout on it to prevent trash and reduce siltation.
Question on that. So you have, is there any mechanism that we can have into this contract to ensure that any developer would be responsible for maintaining
Yeah,
this?
that's part of the city's stormwater quality system, and we have to put together a maintenance handbook that goes with that. And it would pass from the property owner, if it's one owner of the entire subdivision, to the HOA, it would be their responsibility. And that's a city program that we would be following.
I'm only asking because my thinking on this is what are the consequences for non-compliance? So as long as they're built in, that's great. So that's my only question.
Okay.
So one thing, this has been presented to the city stormwaters department, and they have reviewed the plan and have approved it.
Yeah, correct.
It's my understanding in talking to Joe Hinkle and Troy Tillotson. John, you got anything that, in our discussions, to add to our conversation?
Not really. I mean, there'll be a formalized easement agreement drafted between the city and the park board. Probably be some amount of compensation, just because
I think that's
everybody's
been
working on the
discussed as
property.
well.
Is that a lot of compensation? No.
It's not enough to deter the developer, let's put it that way.
But, you know, this is, you know, by taking it through the process, you're covering all your bases. There'll be a formal recorded document that will lay out, you know, where they're at, what they're doing, and so on. So that'll come back to the board.
All right, very
John,
good.
can you remind me, is this Board of Park Commissioners' property or is this city property?
I'd have to look. I don't recall offhand.
I'm thinking it's city property. South Lake's a city property. I don't think it was Board of Park Commission.
As always, whenever we have a situation like this, I always ask for the Board of Park Commissioners to recommend that the proceeds from any one of these would go back to the Parks and Recreation Department. I always try to make that happen if we can, even if it's $1 or $2.
One of the original things that came up that made us question in the report, they called that Sedgwick County property, and we said, no, that's the city of Wichita, so they corrected that in their information.
Any other questions? Troy, go ahead.
So since this is city property, it's not Board of Park Commissioners' property, we're looking for your support and recommendation.
You want to make a motion?
Make a motion to support the drainage easement that's the city of Wichita to decide.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Any further comment?
Do we want to ask something about the money going back to the Parks Department?
Yes, please.
No, I mean, like, I think that's a legitimate question. That's, I mean, like, no. I think that could we pass some kind of particular message? Like, I want to make certain that there are mechanisms for consequences for noncompliance that are definitely spelled out and we can review come next meeting. That's my ask. Second of all, we need to have it written that the outcome of this, any kind of positive revenue comes back to the park board. That needs to be in the document.
I'll make sure we follow up on that.
Yeah, that one's beyond my purview.
Gotcha.
And the answer to your first question is there is a mechanism in place by the city.
Got it.
Is it policed? Is it monitored? Maybe not.
That's my question. Thank you for the correction, because you're absolutely right. Yeah, we can have all these fine wishes, but I want it on paper.
It should be in there, because it's part of the Clean Water Act.
It is.
It's part of NPDES, I mean, so that, I mean.
Thank you for
we
the
have to follow
education.
that,
So that's then I would hold that back. If we do have that mechanism in place, I fully support what you're saying. It needs to be in the
And I
document.
believe there are fines for negligence that are associated with that project.
Cool.
So,
I mean, you know.
With our stormwater division and make sure, because I'm assuming they're the ones that handle that
Yeah,
enforce
that's
that.
correct.
to help. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So Chris, what we can do is we'll go to Stormwater, ask them for that particular what's the word I'm looking for, ordinance, make sure you get a copy of that.
Thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
But then, so that wouldn't be in your motion. The only thing that it would be important for me, again, in the motion is that any proceeds goes back to the Parks and Recreation Department.
So could I offer a substitute motion to pass the previous motion, but with the addition that we include the line that any revenue from this project would go back to the park board? That would be my motion.
I would second that. Is that just an amendment, Penny?
That's a substitute motion, so it's a new
Okay,
motion,
so we'll
actually.
vote on the substitute first.
Yeah.
Okay. So, any further discussion on that? I seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Don't need to go to the other motion. Thanks for being here. Okay. No continuation of prior business, so we'll jump right into the finance update with Emma.
So I don't have October yet because it's just closed, but I can send October number year-to-date later this week if you guys would like. So as of now, we have revenue sitting at about 1.2, and then the goal for us is 1.5, close to 1.6. We're about 85% satisfied, and we still have quite a few events for fall and winter, so there's a high chance we're going to meet that goal. As far as the breakdowns, it's same as previously. The percentage hasn't changed much because most by and large, ballpark of revenue comes from summer. So that's why it stay very similar. As far as revenue comparison goes, as same as previous couple months, we are sitting really pretty compared to 2020, but we're not at 2019 yet. Again, keep in mind we're running at half capacity limit, which makes sense. And due to that, we're still doing at 1.28, which is higher now because end of October, we're doing really well. As far as expense goes, we're sitting at about almost 12 million, and the goal, the budget gave to us about 18 million. We're about 65%, but keep in mind this is end of September, so we had quite a few big expenses coming up in October. So this percentage is going to change quite drastically once I have the October numbers out. I think Mr. Hoffman required some more details so we can see how centers are doing as far as cost recovery goes. Keep in mind we are a government entity and we don't run 100% for profit, so which is why it's usually not 100% cost recovery. But compared to 19, we're not quite there yet. But compared to 2020, we're doing really well, and that shows in each center cost recovery data as well. And a couple of things to point out. So the summer camps revenue has been increased by about 78,000 from 2020 to 2021. And we did open the new location for summer camp. It's not new center, but it's new for summer camps. It's the Carl G. Brewer, the old Macadam location. And the overall cost for 2021 cost recovery is higher, like I covered. And then the percentage will increase by the end of the year, which you sure will, because we have more activities coming up. As far as golf goes, year to date, by the end of September, we were sitting at 4 million, about 4 million. Expenses about 2.8, which gives us about 1.1 in P&L. I think Troy has planned to cover the expenses we required expenses on budget, the 325,000. Do you want me to go in details on that, or are you going to cover it later?
Cover it later.
Okay. So, and the revenue comparison is same. We are doing really well compared to 19, day and night, and we're doing better than 2020 as well. So that's what I have as of now for financials.
Any questions for Emma?
You said, with the expenses, you said in October, we're expecting a large number of expenses that'll make that percentage go up. I was just curious if that was why we were so only at 65% by October, or by September.
Are you looking at Park and Rec?
Yeah, the department overview on expenses.
This one, 65%? Well, I don't think it's larger than usual, but we just have expenses in October, so 65% is really low, considering we're looking at, it's normal for September number, but we have more expenses coming up in October, so this percentage is going to change to probably roughly about 75 to 80%, which will be on par with what city planned for us. Does it answer your question?
So a couple things to think about. End of September, we're 2/3 through the year.
Right.
That's roughly 2/3. But the big expense that we have is always in the summertime. And so we always see a peak in regards to expenses. And then as we get closer and closer to December, a lot of those expenses are already paid for. But we always do have lingering bills that are still coming in. So I feel pretty good where we're at right now. I think, we're going to end up being under budget for the year, expense-wise, and we're also going to be under budget for our goal that we wanted to hit for our revenues as well. And a big reason for that is COVID. We reduced the amount of programming, we reduced the amount of capacity. We've just not made a whole lot of money.
And I guess I would ask, is that then associated with the lower expenses in admin and park maintenance, stuff like that?
Well, one of the biggest reasons why park maintenance is so much lower is because of the lack of staffing. So we've really been holding back on that to make sure that we stay under budget. So another big part of that too is just it's been difficult to hire and get everybody hired. There's a long process of getting somebody hired. So that's called planned savings. That's kind of planned in there. So, we can count on that at the end of the year. But in general, I think we're doing okay. We're going to definitely be under budget, but we're also going to be missing our revenue marks as well.
Troy, with that, with that planned savings, do you imagine that 2022 will make more attempts at filling some of those roles and getting back to staff capacity?
So giving us the green light to fill these positions, we've been working hard to make that happen. It's a lot slower than what we expected, but we're still seeing turnover. We're also seeing not as many applicants coming in and filling in positions. So we want to make sure that we're only hiring one person once, not having to go through it 3 or 4 times. So if we don't find the right person, then we're going to wait till we find the right person. But
can we help with anything can we help get some of these things approved, or what can the park board do to help staff?
So budget is already
Right.
already taken care of for 2022. In the spring, we'll be working on budget for 2023. We always could use that support and use that message that Parks and Recreation, and at that time, it's going to be cultural arts, Parks and Recreation, that will be needing more funding just to operate. So, there's so many different examples of things that are slipping through the cracks, that we're not maintaining and operating as much as we used to. We're not providing as many services as we used to. And that's kind of, on the face, it looks like we're doing a lot, and we are. We're doing tons of programming, we're doing tons of special events, but we're doing it with far less people, and it's really taxing. It's really kind of putting a huge burden on our staff.
So the answer to your question is help them find staff.
Help them find staff.
Well, I mean, I would add to that. That was actually my question. Is there some kind of way that we can communicate this to the council better on your behalf, or to the public better on your behalf?
So 2 ways of doing that, and that's one thing we have on here is, on the agenda is the
Staffing updates.
the communication update number 5. So if there's something that you want communicated up, you guys either draft that up, or you guys make a proposal and you vote on it. I take it up to the city manager and let him know about it. and he will inform council. But the best way of doing this is you guys communicating with your council members and with the mayor and letting them know what's needed, so.
Okay, I'll wait until bullet 5 then.
Okay, all right.
Any other questions for Emma?
Thank you, Emma.
No, you're fine, I think. If not, we can roll right into item 5.
All right.
Got here faster than you thought, huh?
Oh, I mean, no, I would wait to hear your report first before I.
Sure. So in past months, I don't have anything from the board to move forward, or I don't have anything from the city manager to bring down. So if there's something that you want to communicate, and this is something we talked about with the Golf Advisory Committee last week, earlier this week, last week, it all blends in. Last Thursday. It all blends in. The Golf Advisory Committee was very adamant that they felt, well, maybe not all of them, but at least one person on the board felt very adamant that their communication is not being heard at the park board, and it's not being heard going up to the city manager and to council. And so what we promised to do was anytime there was any specific message that was needed to take forward, that either you guys draft it and send it to me, I'll make sure it goes forward in writing so that we can make sure we have a written response. Or if you guys want to take action on some kind of motion, and Penny will take copious notes, and we'll make sure we get that message, and we'll send that to the city manager for him to take it to council and get some kind of feedback or reaction. And I will stay on top of that, working with the city manager, asking him for responses for the park board on their behalf. So if there's something that you guys want to message, feel free to do so at this time.
Well, okay. I told you this when I first got appointed to the board, and I still believe that this is true, that everybody on this board has a responsibility to make you look as successful as possible and give you all the tools you need. You just told us that your staff is hurting, and you just told us that you don't have the resources you need to get it done. And I'm here to tell you that I want to demand that we get the resources to get this done as soon as possible, because I don't want to hear that the city of Wichita is not providing the best service possible. So I want to see, is there a way that we can say to the city manager, is there, I mean, he can authorize whatever he would like to authorize at a discretionary level. I'm not talking crazy. Is there a way that he could take that discretionary authority and say, let's have an idea that boosts people's interest in these open positions, and possibly, is there a way that they could have a financial incentive for those opportunities? If it's not working the way it is now, folks, we got to change the way we're approaching this. I want to help you out, and that's the message I would send back and send it on up the chain. I don't know what the motion would be, but that's just the discussion I was hoping that we could have, and just get your reaction on that. Everybody on the board.
I mean, how many positions are you, that are critical, that are currently open? How many do you have?
So on the rec side, I don't think we have too many. On the admin side, we definitely have at least 4. And then in parks, we probably have,
I was sitting at about 38 vacancies.
yeah.
We have filled about 10 of those, because we're moving, like I told previously, we're moving up internal people, which it's hard getting new faces to come in the door, but this week we started 3 new employees and we got 2 more, so we're starting to see new faces. So I'm still sitting at 20-some vacancies that need to be filled. I have to save 15 of those for planned savings.
Another strategy that's being implemented as well is with Century 2 going to a third-party operator. Some of those city staff members are going to need positions to work out of. There's an idea, and there's actually, I think, a plan putting in place to having those folks fill in some of our positions. But even just some of the positions that we have that are not open, even if we filled all of those, we still have deficiencies in what we need to be successful. So,
Do you have an internal goal when you want to be back at full capacity?
we're looking in February, that would be great. I think the biggest item that we need to learn and figure out is those Century 2 positions. When and how many are those going to fill?
I don't know if I want to make a motion, I just do want to continue the conversation, and I think what the next move might be, and I don't know if we want to wait this long until the next meeting, maybe we could make a motion just to make a suggestion, but I would say, I think you hit the nail on the head. Tell us what the date is. Tell us what the numbers are, because we can have all the well wishes in the world, or we can say, by Feb 1, we need this at 100%, or Troy is not as successful as we could possibly make him. So that's my attitude, and I don't know if we want a motion for that, or I'm just leaving that, that's really the takeaway I've got.
Well, there's some things I can really show you. It's not necessarily I can say, I need 50 more bodies. What are those 50 bodies going to do? Those are, I mean, there's a lot more to it than just that. But one of the things that I use quite often are a lot of the statistics that we use to compare ourselves to other cities. So how many FTEs per acres? How many FTEs per...
How are we in comparison to other cities with FTEs per
peer
acres?
cities? Right.
Yeah. Is that something that we can compare? Because
That's a great idea.
I got that very easily. I just did a presentation on that.
let's do that. Yeah, I mean, at least from my end, I know when we sell the city to other professionals and other organizations, one of the things that we tout is having an exceptional parks department. I mean, we really do. We talk about the number of parks and the courses, and so from our end, I think it only makes sense that we ensure that they're operating at the best quality that they can be operated on, and
Yep.
that
So
means
there's
giving you the resources.
a couple different surveys that are out there. One in particular, Trust for Public Land, that I can do a presentation on next month, as well as the National Parks and Rec Association has peer studies that show where we stand compared to other cities. So I'll be happy to share that with you next month.
Well, and something that we have to keep in mind is, today, it's not just the park board that's experiencing hiring,
Right.
problems. So I appreciate your passion in wanting to fill the needs, but it's not, this is a global problem, not a city of Wichita problem. So we have to be realistic. We don't want to run to the city manager and say,
That's
"Get
why I
them
asked,
all over."
what is critical right now? What is hindering?
They're all
you?
critical. I
Yes,
mean,
they are, but there are some things that
But they're not holding
make
them
the
back
system
from
from
hiring
making
them.
the system move like it should, right?
But they're not hiring them, they're not holding back, they're not saying, Troy, you can't hire these people.
Right.
You have, if someone came through your door today and they were qualified, you'd hire them.
I have the green light to hire certain positions,
So-
yes.
The city's not holding up, that's what
Right.
I'm trying to say. When you say it's our responsibility as a
Right.
board, it is, but the city, his boss, the city manager is not saying, you don't have it.
Oh, no,
Yeah, to a certain extent, because it was just mentioned earlier that some of those were planned savings.
Yeah, but they have those every year.
Yeah, but
That's always.
Yeah, but if we're already operating at a deficit, you know what I'm saying? Like if,
But we're operating at a deficit because he's still short. the
but that's
other
what I'm
40
saying. I guess to Chris's point, I mean, the idea is like if we're already at a deficit and we already have planned savings, then we should prioritize this as much as we can. And I know it's a global thing that we're all facing shortages, I get it. But if we don't dedicate time to this or at least bring it to the attention of the manager's office, I mean, we're never gonna change anything.
Well, I'm sure you have more, I'm sure the city manager has
I'm
more than just
sure,
park people
yeah.
that are
Yeah,
also
oh,
the same
no, for
situation.
sure.
I'm just saying, I
Yeah.
don't say we run up to the city manager's office and say, hey, Mr. Manager, you're not doing a good job, because that's
No,
not
but
what's
we could put a
happening.
plan together
Yeah.
for them.
I think you have a plan. I mean, you have a plan as far as you need to hire people, you have openings, you've got the green light to hire those people.
That's a
So
goal, but
how do
I
we
mean,
get
We
those
need
people?
metrics.
No,
How
but
do we
I'm
get them
saying,
here?
well, I mean, that sounds like a goal. Like I'm saying, like if what I'm saying, if we put a plan in place, it's like, well, I mean, are there communication efforts that we can help with? I mean, are there things resources that we can help put together or connect you with to help bring these things, bring more attention to them? I mean, I gotta be honest with you, like I know that the city's hiring a bunch of jobs, but I see one council member share those opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there other things that we can do to bring awareness to these opportunities that exist?
It might cost $0. I think you're 1,000%
I mean, it
right.
could.
It's just an attitude change I'm suggesting, and I don't know if that deserves a motion, but I'm saying, like, look, if my perspective is on this is that there's nothing that Wichita can't do if we just decide to do it. So let's have that attitude. I think we can fill these positions by Feb 1. Do you?
strong possibility.
Then let's do it. Then let's just do it, folks. I mean, like, gee, goodness, let's just do it. Like, that's my motion. I motion that we get this done by Feb. 1. I don't know if that's an actual motion, but like, I'm saying however it happens, and every board should have this, as a matter of fact. Everybody should fight this way for their staff. I want the best park board possible. I want the best park department in the entire nation, and we're not gonna get there by good hopes. We're gonna get there by plans. And by the best staff that we can hire. And I think, honest to God, people just don't know that these possibilities are out there. People want jobs, they want to work, and they want to work for the most amazing boss in the world. And I think we put you in that position that you could be that, and that's what I want to do. It's not necessarily throwing money at the problem, it's just competing because we're a fantastic city with a great opportunity. And that's my piece.
Was that a motion for an attitude change by Feb. 1?
An immediate attitude change, solutions as soon as possible. I don't know if that's an actual motion, but that's just my sentiment, and I really think that it's perfectly within our ability to do everything that we want to do.
Certainly appreciate the passion. I would look forward to seeing a presentation next month.
Sure.
If you can make that happen, that would be fantastic.
What we'll do is, it'll be a presentation that will compare us to like cities or peer cities about how much money we're spending, where our resources are at, how much we're lacking. You know, even if I hired 100% of the current vacant positions that we have, I'm obligated to hold some of them vacant for planned savings, which is a whole nother discussion as well. But even at that, we're still far behind in regards to the amount of staffing, not just in the park side, but also in the rec side, to really manage and really reach out to the community and provide great programs. Again, we have great staff, and they're kicking butt, and they're doing all they can. We're not a gold medal finalist for no reason whatsoever. It is because we're doing some great things. Every week, there's a list of things that go out there of all the great things you do, staff-wise. We send that to you guys every week in the weekly reports. I don't know how often you guys read the weekly reports, but there's always great information and great stories to tell about what our department is doing. I get all kinds of kudos from folks in the community about all the different things that we do and how we touch people. Could we do much better? Yes. And it's all about resources. It's not about throwing money at a problem. It's not like I'm saying, hey, I need X amount of dollars, but it's changing the philosophy of what is really important in this community. And if cultural arts, parks, and recreation is important, then we need to work on that. And you're absolutely right. Hope is not a strategy. Hope is not going to get us anywhere. You have to have a plan, and we need to start working more on having stronger plans that's going to have more measurable outcomes. Those are the things that we're working on. But right now, a good example, and we're working on filling these positions, but a good example is Gentry. She's gone. She's been gone for a month and a half. There's so many things that I could have her working on right now that I'm putting on the back burner for now. There's a lot of other things that are high priority, but we want to look at a master plan for recreation centers. We're working with the fellows to do that. It's not even Parks and Recreation staff that's doing that. So there is just a lot of balls in the air, and we're trying to manage those and prioritize those as best as we possibly can. So I would be happy to share next month how we compare to some of our peer cities.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's roll right into the social media update.
I am not.
TikTok?
How's our TikTok doing?
I'm not prepared to have any kind of information for you guys. Again, I don't have anybody who's really working on this on a regular basis. So when I do, I'll have somebody who can provide more information.
Is this a new initiative? I don't remember seeing this in past agendas. I know we talked about it briefly at the end of our last meeting, potentially. Who does run our social media team right now? And I guess going back to our passionate points, how can we assist them and
Sure.
everything that they need.
So there's a team of 3 or 4 of my individuals in my team that actually work on social media. It's not one particular person because they're all doing other jobs as their primary work.
Wouldn't
So-
this be a great platform, though, for your needs, for
Yeah,
staffing needs?
exactly.
And that was my point. We have the availability to hire people if people knew, like your point, you're saying maybe they don't know.
That's exactly
But
right.
why are we using social media for that?
Every day. I mean, it's urgent. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
That's, you got it. That's a perfect idea. I love that.
I guess one update, I've got one. Troy and I and Michael Ward, Michael sits on the Golf Advisory Committee with me. We sat down and did a Facebook Live, was it last Wednesday?
That was great.
Just kind of explaining, the RFP process and some of the questions and concerns that have arisen throughout this entire process. It's been a long process, but I hope that Facebook Live cleared some of that up.
Yeah.
So Troy did a wonderful job. Megan Lovely gave us a tremendous script. I told her 5 minutes before the meeting, I was like, you expect me to read? I can't read. So kind of a fun little deal that hopefully cleared some air for some of the people that had questions or concerns.
Did you get any feedback on it?
I did not, and typically no news is good news, but I'm not sure how many people reached out. I think Shannon Applehan sent it to all the folks on our email list, as well as social media folks that are following us on social media. So it did go out there, and some of the golfers actually should have seen it if they opened up their emails or their
Eddie, when you were
openers.
on it, did you get comments? Were there comments coming in at
So-
all? It tells you how many viewers you have. Did you see any of that stuff?
I didn't see any of the analytics or anything. We didn't take questions from the public. It was kind of a pointed discussion between Troy and Michael and myself. So we had certain questions that have come in to me and Michael. I'm sure you've gotten some of them as well. Some of the more common questions. We laid it out in a kind of a nice script, got through it in 15 minutes, and hopefully helped out the golfers that had those questions. Because I can't respond to 100 emails about the same thing, and I think that was a tremendous idea. So that would be my update on the social media. I think that certainly helps. We talked about it last meeting, just going Facebook Live like some of the council members do after council meetings on Tuesday mornings, and just kind of help their constituents know what's going on in a very concise manner. Some of those meetings roll for 3, 4, 5 plus hours, so not everybody's listening to it all the time, but certainly those 5-10 minute videos help.
I think that, as a matter of fact, is like a really easy way of, if you do this again, like, just make certain that you text me or text all of us and say, hey, I need you to share this, I need you to comment, I need you to tell your friends to do that. And that's really simple. And as a matter of fact, make more asks of all of us to interface. If there's going to be something that's coming up, Troy, like, that's a fantastic, easy way. Like, we all have friends. Where there's a reason that we're on this board is because we know a lot of people and that we can get stuff accomplished, and that's what the people who appointed us believe in. So lean on us for that. Like,
So, first thing is become followers of the Parks and Recreation Facebook, and we did a Facebook Live at the, was that Friday?
Yeah.
Over
The open air.
the Fresh Air Baby Camp. So, I don't know who shared it or who passed it on or who liked it, but we definitely put that out there. I don't think I have to reach out for every single one, but there's a lot of content that goes on our social media. And if you guys are followers, share
But
it.
with that said, I mean, if we're not taking advantage of the free analytics of those things, so what? If you did that Facebook Live and we had one person watch it, and was that worth the time to do it? Not necessarily. But if we use that platform, which is a great platform, any one of them are great platforms,
Sure.
but we got to get people engaged. And that's what he's saying, is if I go on there and I start commenting, and then my friends see it, he'll start commenting. I mean, we need to use those platforms. I appreciate what you were trying to do, Eddie. but certainly like your Facebook Live, people were commenting during that, what was going on. That's important information
Right.
for us. It tells us who's watching, who's concerned, who cares, who doesn't care.
And if you guys comment, that just kind of builds it
Right.
even more. So Apple Hans, as well as Megan Lovely, they pay attention to the analytics. They record on it, but there's so many other things that they got to do as well. They're not going to come down here and give us a report on every single item that we put out on social media. But yeah, that's why every time there's something that's on the Facebook page that I follow, I make a comment on it. I pass it on. I share it. So
somebody just texted me, we've got 469 full views of the entire video, which is pretty nice. Average Facebook views range from 15 to 30 seconds.
That's pretty good.
But going back to your point, I think that's incredibly crucial, because the more you comment, the more you interact with a certain post, the more it gets out to people. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure Facebook changes their whatever it's called, algorithm every single day, but certainly the more clicks, the more views, the more people that's going to reach. So.
And all content is good. I mean, you can clip that stuff, throw captions on it and say, hey, this was a great point that our park board chair made last week. I hope you tune in next time that they talk. Like that kind of stuff. Just pop it out there when we can. I love that stuff.
yeah, I was just looking at your Facebook just this morning.
Yes, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So.
But I didn't see anything about parks.
Listen, I'm in this, did you not just see I motioned for an attitude change? Listen, and so it's all positivity from here on out. And listen, I think it got unanimous consent, so.
Sure. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I understand. I understand. Man.
Anything else on social media? Reggie? Recreation update, sir.
Reggie's like, dang, y'all came with questions today.
New attitude.
A new attitude.
Go outside and
Absolutely.
get an attitude. I'll be right back.
See ya.
So good afternoon, everyone. Going to give a brief update of some of the activities that we did during the month of October to kind of show kind of a variety of different things that we're doing in the rec division with some of our programming and events that we've offered throughout the month. So first up is our athletics division. As you can see, we continue to do our softball leagues that we started up in October. Had 35 teams that registered for that, over 5 different divisions, had great participation. That's one of the things that we're seeing more activity in outdoor activities because of some of the restrictions that we have with COVID. So you'll see that as we move on to some of the other events that we actually have in place during the month and throughout the summer as well. So next up is our youth football league. As you guys know, during last year, we did not host the league because of COVID restrictions. So we did start back up this year. We made some changes to it. One of those things that we did was we went 100% online for our registration. So that made it convenient for individuals to be able to register from home, or they can go to one of our rec centers itself and register and not have to come down to our park administrative office here where we have restriction with people being able to get into the facilities itself. And through that effort, we were able to actually see a large increase in actual the revenue that we collected from those teams that were being registered for our programs. So the process that we had before in place was that the individual parents would pay the teams, and then the teams would turn the funds in to us once they registered. So we removed the organizations from the middle, and the teams paid us directly, and we saw quite a bit of increase in the funds that we got in for those participants. And as part of that, we were able to reduce our fee as well. So last year, before the pandemic, we were actually charging $55 per player, and we were able to actually take the fee down to $50 a player, which saved $5 per participant. And we saw that we had an increase in the number of registration we have as well as a collection rate. And as part of that transition as well, we moved down to South Lakes and hosted all of our games there at that complex. That allowed us to streamline a lot of our services that we have there. One of the big things that we've had a challenge with was having the WPD officers on site for security. So we were able to work with Captain Nicholson there at South Patrol, who were able to provide us with officers on site for the entire day for those youth football games and made it a whole lot more convenient for parents to have to go to one location to several different locations. And we're going to look at getting out surveys here pretty soon to kind of gather information from those parents on that experience to see how we move forward in the future with how we offer the league. And as a conclusion to the league, we were able to go back in 2019. We did something new where we worked with friends through the partnership that we have there with them to have our youth football championship weekend there on campus. So we did that again this year on October the 31st. Great turnout for the event. Kids had a great time having an opportunity to actually play on a college level field where turf is there on site, and a great experience for them. And we did something a little bit differently this year. In the past, we would give out trophies, which we did do for those top teams, but we also did something a little differently, is that we offered championship rings. So each of the players that were on those teams were able to get just of course, it wasn't a Super Bowl ring, but it was something that those kids can use as a momentum that they'll remember for the rest of their lives. So that went over really well with those young people there for this season as well. So next up, I'm sure you guys know that we made the transition over to McAdams to Carl Brewer, and we hosted a new event there this year on site called Booze and Bonfire Halloween event. We were able to do a bonfire there on site, able to do some s'mores and a variety of different activities there on the campus. And for the first time event, we had over 550 people that came out for it. So it's a tremendous success for us to have that event. Had some really key sponsors and hosts there for it that came out and provided a lot of support for the event. Real Men, Real Heroes was our host there on site and helped with a lot of the activities on site. And Fred Douglas Lodge, number 99, Masonic Lodge here in the community, actually covered the cost for the expense for the activities that we had there. So it's a good partnership and a good event for us to be able to expand and offer there at the community, for the community. So some of our regular events that we had as well, we're starting to open back up to be able to do some of those activities that kind of were closed down during the COVID restrictions. So our ARC, Sedgwick County Circle of Friends Group, which works with the individual with cognitive or physical disabilities, and the school system in the surrounding area changed their name to Ability Point this year, and we were able to host their carnival there on site with games and things at the park there. Opened up, had 100 students there and 30 volunteers, so we were able to use the outdoor space there and allow them to do that. In the past, we did some of those things inside, but we were able to move it outside to be able to accommodate that group there. Our fitness classes are still doing well. They're at Orchard as well. Continue to open those classes up there. Had 19 people signed up in each of those groups. And one of the things that we've done as part of the COVID restriction was still keeping those numbers down so we can do social distancing and things inside and using that space and being able to optimize it with still being able to generate revenue while being safe with the space that we're using. So Watson Park had another really good year. This year with the expansion of Wicked Island, Troy went out there and actually participated in this year as well and got a chance to see it firsthand. On October the 30th, we had over 1,000 people that came out in the elements and participated this year. That was above the total attendance that we had for 2020 for that particular event on that night. So still people real active about getting out, doing things outdoors and being able to participate in a lot of those activities where there's not as many of those restrictions there. And we're looking how we can expand that in the future and continue to work with that group there. So we also did a Halloween event there in partnership with them where we charged a $5 fee and we're able to incorporate a lot of those activities from Wicked Island as well as access to our train rides and sold tickets there for other activities on site. And we had over 500 tickets that we sold for that particular event as well. So a new event that we're doing this year, I'm sure you guys are probably familiar with us having the Night with Santa that we will have over at Century 2. We're moving that outdoors this year on December 11th. We're actually having it there, a new called Winter Wonderland that we're going to have there outside. So you'll see we have a variety of different events there. We have Santa on site, have an opportunity to do pictures and photo ops, s'mores that we're doing there, a lot of family-oriented events that we're offering. And we combine that in conjunction with our Mayor's Tree Lighting that will start at 5:20, and then the actual event itself will take place from 5:30 to 7:30. So we were able to get Hutton Construction on site that made a donation to help sponsor that, cover a lot of the activities that we're doing. And we're also getting some of the same sponsors that we had with A Night with Santa to come over and help support the event as well. So we're excited about it. Think that we're going to get a really good turnout for that event as well. So I'll stand for any questions you guys may have as well.
Any questions for Reggie? Yeah, good stuff. I like the championship rings. That's a nice touch.
That's great.
You have one of those, don't you, Reggie?
Do you hear him, Reggie?
Do you have one of those rings?
I'll have to send you guys a picture of when I have.
No, do you have the Super Bowl ring?
I don't have.
But he does have a championship ring. You should see it sometime. It's,
I did in his interview.
yeah, it's a beast. It's a monster, yeah. It's like a bracelet for me.
For most people.
Thanks, Reggie. Golf update.
All right, so we got a lot of things going on. I'm going to talk a little bit about the RFP. We did interviews with the RFP, it was about a week ago. Gosh, it goes by really fast. And the city manager and the finance department is looking at the finances of the proposal to make sure that we're on the same page before we start moving with one individual vendor. But we had 4 great presentations and was really excited about a lot of the comments. They were very interested in having really good dialogue with the golfers, having them involved with some decision-making. They all kind of made the comment that they're not going to move the prices of the golf courses unless it's actually approved by council. I think they understand the whole idea, the philosophy of public golf is supposed to be affordable, and the way that we actually make money is that we bring in more and more golfers. But with that, they all made the comments that there has to be some money going back into the golf courses. There's an opportunity, each and every one of them talked a lot about food and beverage, F&B, as being an opportunity that we can look at to be bringing in more money into the golf courses. And then also talked a little bit about equipment replacement plans, something that we can actually have a little bit of an extra fee that can actually go towards replacement of equipment. And by the way, our pass holders were charged their annual replacement fee, which is $37, I think. And prior to that, we had emailed all of them and let them know about it, and it's been in all of our literature. And as soon as we put that expense out there, that it's an automatic withdrawal out of their bank account, we got 50 calls, and we had to explain to them, you know, here's what's going on. So, you know, I'm bringing this up because we put it in our social media as well as our direct emails, and there's some people that we will just never ever reach. So we got to work on that as well. So going back to the RFP, we're going to clarify some questions and start negotiations. The good thing about this is that unlike some of the other situations where we find ourselves in, which I'll talk a little bit about the ice rink later on, staff is operating our golf courses, so it's not like I have a hard deadline that say we have to have negotiations done by January 2nd. We have to have a contract signed by February 1st. So would rather make sure that we are all on the same page, make sure that we have a good contract in place or a good draft in place before we take it to council. Make sure we answer everybody's questions and make sure it's very, very transparent. So when we do have a good draft put in place, we'll bring it back to the Golf Advisory Committee as well as back to this park board. So that's a long explanation about where we're at with the RFP. Any questions?
I do. Can you tell us who the 4 were?
At this time, there hasn't been a decision about who we're forwarding, and we want to make sure.
Who the 4 bidders?
Oh, who the 4, no, I still can't tell you that yet.
And is there any conversation in the RFP or with the staff, current staff, would they stay with the new management, or could we absorb them into some of our vacancies in other places?
So most definitely, there's a huge interest in keeping them on with whoever is our contractor. They've expressed that, they know that the staff knows the courses and the operations better than anybody else. So they're going to have a huge opportunity to step into that role. They might even be able to leverage with some good negotiations if I was in their shoes. So there's that strong possibility. And if they don't want to work for the contractor,
Sure.
there's opportunities that we can hopefully find something that's very similar. You know, I don't have golf pro positions in other places in the city, but if we have maintenance, landscaping type of work, we can definitely fill those positions, so.
Will that contractor or vendor come to this meeting and give an update monthly on what they've done?
Are you talking before the contract is
No,
signed?
after it's done.
So that's nothing we've discussed. That could definitely be part of the negotiations. We expect monthly reports from them, and I'm not necessarily expecting them to come to this board, but I think my thought on this was they'd come semi-annually and do a report. So,
The reason why I say you brought up the ice rink, and I think that's, we as a board need to do a better job of overseeing the contractors that are hired to manage these processes.
I think that's staff's responsibility.
Right.
And I think that it's our obligation to make sure you guys know what's going on.
Okay.
Yep.
One
So
thing
definitely,
I would-
I want to make sure that you guys know what's going on. Yep.
One thing I would add to that, every one of the bidders made it a point, to work with the Golf Advisory Committee. They will come to them and make
Okay.
recommendations, what they see in the market. They're around it every day, boots on the ground. So if they see an opportunity, they would come to the GAC, which would then come here, I would assume,
Okay.
which would then go to the council.
When you talk about F&B, can you describe, oh, sorry, if you're answering a question, if you wanted to add to that.
Just want to add one more thing, that in previous contracts, the contracts were not very well written, didn't give us authority to make changes or oversee certain parts of the contract, particularly financial areas. In this situation, and with the ice rink, there's going to be very good language in there in regards to reporting obligations, in regards to meeting certain standards, and what would be the penalties of that. So a lot different than any of the contracts that we had in the past. So to talk about what you were just mentioned, gives us that stronger oversight and authority over the contract.
That's right, yes.
So, as every attorney is going to tell you, that the devil's in the details, and in past contracts, the devil was in those details in regards to not being beneficial for us. So, those are all things that would be part of the negotiation when we finalize the contract.
So just a quick question, if you can elaborate, if you can't, if you're under some kind of, if you do not want to elaborate, that's fine. I was just curious of broad strokes on F&B. And the reason why is because like that perks my interest here. I'm thinking, we've got beautiful assets in these courses, but if you're talking about possibly expanding some of these options in F&B, that could be a revenue generator that expands beyond the golfing community, I think that's a huge opportunity. And I'm just curious if you could explain some of the broad strokes of what that might look like.
I'll go broad and you can help me fill in the details. But so in the past, there's been some really big ideas about actually a restaurant or a full-blown eatery there or whatnot. Would take a ton of investment. From our perspective, we're not interested in operating restaurants. We're not even interested in high-end concessions or that kind of stuff. There's people that are much better at doing that than us. Food trucks is always a great option and an alternative. However, within the footprint that we have at each one of the golf courses, there can definitely be improvements in regards to the menus that we provide. One of the reasons why we have not improved on that is two reasons. First is never knowing exactly what we're going to do with the contract. This has been going on for almost a year and a half, and so why would we want to put investment in different menu items and different small pieces of restaurant equipment if it's going to go to somebody else? So we thought we had an opportunity to answer the question, and then it just prolonged when we decided to do an RFP, even open it up to everybody else. So once we have that question answered, if we do it in-house, there's some things we can do to change our menu. If it goes to a third-party operator, here's what's kind of exciting is some of the things that they presented would really spice up the menu a little bit. I think they're going a little overboard. They kind of showed a hamburger with teas and golf balls on top of it, and some really kind of cool drinks. One of the things they talked about was, and I didn't even think about this, 5 in wine. So you do 5 holes instead of 9, and you have some wine after that. To me, if I'm going to go out golfing, I want to go golfing, but they're hitting some other ideas and some other sections of our customers that we're really not hitting too much, and so they really want to expand that, using a panini press, doing more things, whether it's a grilled sandwich, a ham and cheese sandwich that you could do in a press. You don't need to have a full grill. You don't need to have, and the other item is that if we're going to make some major improvements, you also have to put a grease trap in place as well. So, depending on the food menu, the higher and higher you go, the more and more investment you have to put in there. If they're willing to do that, and some of them have made that situation where they would keep all that revenue or keep a huge part of it, you got to have that win-win situation for everybody. So I really liked the different ideas that they brought to the table. There was a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for, creativity on coming up with some different items that could be sold and be made very easily without a whole lot of investment in equipment. So that's why I really liked some of the third-party operators, some of their proposals. If we end up doing it in-house, we would have to kind of do the same thing as well, but we'd have to find some folks to really help us with the F&B, because that's one of our weaknesses.
So when I think about growing the game of golf, which is critical, I always come back to cultivating a culture and developing a certain culture. Not every golfer is going to go to the course and play it just because of the course. I think that's probably 1 or 2% of all golfers. You want to have different programming, different F&B. I think F&B and programming are probably our 2 biggest opportunities to capturing some of those golfers and bringing them back out. If I'll go out there and play, and if I see a really cool, going back to the hamburger on the beer can deal, really cool Bloody Mary or some sort of creativity in the clubhouse, and it doesn't have to be extravagant by any means, but going back to the panini press, if they have some solid food options and some kind of a cool vibe to hang out in, I'm going to stay there and have a few drinks and, eat, some good food and hang out with some buddies. I think that's super important to start getting some of those golfers back and staying in our system. So I went into it, the selection process, from a very high-level view, 1,000 feet in the air, whatever. Didn't want to drill down any details. We had the city manager there for that. So I wanted to see what kind of creative ideas that they would bring to the table, and they certainly, they brought it. Everyone put their best foot forward, and certainly appreciate that. So another thing I would just tack on to, I think everybody was in unanimous agreement on who first place was, and then from there I think it was pretty close. So I think once we can let you know, certainly we will, but as of now it's kind of in the contract negotiation process, and so.
And the reason why I can't share that right now is because we haven't even been able to tell the 4 firms what's happening right now. So it would be very unfair to put that out and haven't even had a chance to explore each one of those options and make sure which one is best. And then when we start doing that, it gives another group another unfair advantage over another one. So I really apologize. As much as I really want to share everything that has gone through with the RFP process, I can't do that yet. But once I can, I'm going to be more than happy to share that with you, and it might even require an emergency meeting if we need to move forward with something just on that topic. So,
Will we be part of the final decision on it?
you're definitely making recommendations, yeah.
So we didn't hear their presentations, but we'll be part of the,
One more time.
we didn't hear their presentations, but we'll be part of the final decision on who's going to do this?
So what's going to happen, and I shared this with the Golf Advisory Committee, is whoever we select, we're going to have a meeting with the Golf Advisory Committee, we'll have a meeting with the Park Board, and kind of show why those folks have been selected, where are the talking points, where are the best points behind them, where are the important items, the decision points, the pros and cons, so we can share that with you guys. And at that point in time, we can say this group did and this group didn't have this, or make some comparisons and kind of share with what we saw in the interview process.
Anything else on golf? I think we covered most of it.
You want them to come do a presentation?
Well, no, I think it would have been important for us to be part of the process. I mean, we were part of the RFP, put it together, it was our responsibility to put it out for, and, so we were involved in all that, and now to say that there's 4 secret people that have put in, proposals to do this, I think would have been imperative for us to be part of that conversation, to hear the conversation, if nothing else, the Golf Advisory Committee to even hear.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want them to be a bigger part of it, then they should have at least been, at minimum,
So there's a member from the Golf Advisory Committee that was on the selection committee. There was a member from the Park Board that was on the selection committee. There was also 2 citizens from golf area that was on the selection committee. So the kind of same thing is going to happen with the ice rink, is we have 1 Park Board member who's going to be on the selection committee. We have 5 or 6 different stakeholders from the community that's going to be on the selection committee. So there's that representation. It's difficult for us to say, hey, we want you to do 4 different or 3 different presentations. So there is representation there.
Troy, when this recommendation gets brought to us, is there an opportunity for us to see the presentation or the materials that they shared with you guys at that time?
Sure. Whatever they left with us, we'd be happy to share with you guys. Yep.
I think there's some utility, in what you're saying. Like, listen, I watch Shark Tank. I like getting pitched ideas. As a matter of fact, I bet if all of these guys, I bet there's good ideas in every one of these proposals. And I think that this needs to be a battle of the best ideas. And I trust you that you guys are going to find the best ideas, but I think what you're saying is, like, you want to hear it too. Like, you want to hear what these ideas are, and like maybe there is one superstar plan. I fully concur, but maybe everybody's got some great ideas that at least we could try to say, hey, we also like these guys. Can you somehow work with them on this? That's something to.
Well, we've definitely learned a lot of things, and we'll be borrowing some ideas.
All right. Especially, just so long as that's as long as we're hearing everything.
A little bit. You're new to the board, so sorry for you, but being on this board for the last, I think, 6 or 7 years, going through golf as a real hot topic, being drilled in golf and closing golf courses and being part of that, to finally say we're going to hand this off to somebody else, I feel like this board should have a lot of say in who that is. We've sat on this, Alejo, and certainly Eddie could vouch for that too, and Tori. We've been through some long meetings on golf, so anyways, that's
Friday meetings.
Yeah, that's all. It's a hot topic in the city of Wichita and parks, and now we're going to let 6 people decide the fate of golf for Wichita.
Well, like I said, I went into it with a really high-level view. I'm totally open-minded, want to see the most creative ideas. I certainly came out, all 4 of them had tremendous ideas in certain sectors. So I think what we're probably doing right now, the city manager is doing right now, is saying, can we implement this, et cetera? And it all goes back to developing culture. If somebody had a really fun programming idea, but their food and beverage was lacking, I think we can potentially, stir up some ideas from that, not necessarily steal them by any means, but say that is a great idea. I think that would work in the city of Wichita. Let's try to implement this. Can we look into this more? I went into it certainly just looking at what kind of creative ideas can you bring to the table that will make golfers want to come out to our courses and not only play them, but hang out afterwards or beforehand and, start generating some more.
Make it an experience.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And ultimately, it's council that's going to be making the decision. So at that point in time, whoever is selected, we'll be asking them to come and make a presentation to council.
When do you imagine that'll happen? Next year?
So like I said, we're making sure that everything is in place.
No, I'm just asking, like, do you anticipate like a January or February vote, something like that?
So once we get, everybody's on the same sheet of music, then we got to pass this on to the attorneys.
Sure.
They understand the importance of this. And so, yeah, I'm thinking January sometime is when we take it to council.
Okay.
So.
We'll include all the fine print, Eric.
So a couple other items I want to share with you in regards to golf. Last week at council, was able to move $325,000 into an account that I could start using for making some upgrades and repairs to our irrigation system. So the whole idea of the enterprise system is to put money back into the golf courses. So if we think about the revenues that we got from 2020, I took $350,000 and we're making improvements over at McDonald, over at the pond, and that's going to happen in the next month or so. And we are currently making repairs to the HVAC and the roof over at Tex. That's happening right now. So that's $350,000. Then we spent, I think it was close to $300,000 on new mowing equipment. It doesn't come close to what we need for replacement, but there's $300,000 that we got from our equipment replacement fund. And then now I'm going to spend about another $325,000 on irrigation. So just in this year, it's close to $1 million that I've personally put in and worked on putting back into the golf courses. That's what we need to do on a regular basis, but excited to see what the final outcome is going to be with a third-party operator, and if it's a win-win for everybody, that's what we're going to try to do. If it ends up still being Wichita Parks and Recreation that's operating and managing the golf courses, there's a lot of things we need to change. We need to bring some staff on because that's one of our weakest points right now is we just don't have enough staff and we don't have somebody to operate this on a daily basis. It's been fun working with the golf courses and getting to know the golf staff, but there's too many other things I need to do, so we need to bring somebody to replace Mr. Hendricks that left us back in February. That's just one item of many other things that we need to change if we keep it in-house. It needs to change drastically if we keep it in-house. So that's a quick overview.
Killing me. So you're telling me that we are a bidder on the golf courses that we already manage, that we haven't done a good job on for the last however many years, we have put in an RFP to do this?
One more time. Share that with me one more time.
So you are saying that we bid, we're one of the 4 RFP?
No.
Well, you just said that if we're going to maintain them.
Yes.
So if none of the 4 work out, then you're saying that's how we end. I was like, if you're saying that we put in an RFP to run these golf courses after all these years.
No.
I'm going to kick you?
As I've been saying this for the past 6 months, that when we've been talking about the RFP, is if none of it works out, if these bidders say,
then we have to do something.
Heck no, we don't want you, Troy. We don't want you in your contract.
You're asking the right questions.
Troy, you're asking way too much, and we cannot do that. We have a team in place to operate.
Fair.
And we still have to operate.
And I appreciate that. And we put $1 million in this year, and that is fantastic. I love to hear that. That's all I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
I was just making sure we were not a bidder in our own process after failing for so many, not failing, but struggling certainly for many years. So that's all. Thank you for that clarification. I will start my heart back up.
Okay.
I was going to come over and kick you.
But I want to make it very clear, staff has been working their butts off to make this happen. Hold on, let me finish.
100%.
And one of the reasons why we were first looking at third-party operators because we were seeing the revenues going down. And why? Because there wasn't golf all across the country was going down. It wasn't because we were failing, it wasn't because staff was
And that
failing.
was wrong of me to say that we were
Okay.
failing, but Alejo put it so eloquently. We were struggling, or what did you say?
We fell short a little bit.
We fell short a little bit. That's all. I just wanted to make sure we weren't trying to.
It's not staff that was
No.
falling short.
No, it
It was
wasn't.
because
Yeah. it was
the
just
environment is
nature-
changing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think y'all, I mean, given the circumstances and what we were given, I mean, I think we did an exceptional job as staff, and I think it's evident even in the revenue that you see once we close CLAP, and we're able to dedicate resources to the other 4 courses, I mean, we really turned the page as a golf system.
Amen.
And so I applaud the staff for that, and
Yeah, I think that was a very difficult decision to make. It was a tough plan, but
it was the right decision.
yeah, and there's still going to be golfers out there, and I still get questions about why can't we open CLAP back up again? And if we get $10 million to put back into the golf course to operate it, and fix all the bridges and fix all the irrigation, what's happened, what will cause on that situation was we'll just take golfers away from other golf courses, our other public
Let's not
golf
go back
courses.
that way.
No.
Let's just keep going.
We got
You're
four
doing a great
great,
job.
we got 4 great courses.
I think we saw opportunity to provide a better product.
Yeah.
You know, ultimately, at the end of the day. You know, so we went out, you know, selected 4 to move forward, and I think we got 7 total, correct? So,
Yes.
shortlisted 4, you know, saw what was out there. You know, this was the plan since when was the initial meeting? April of this year.
2019, 18 now.
Yeah, it's been
Time is a
a
constant.
decade-long process, it feels like, but, you know, at the end of the day, we saw an opportunity that we needed to provide a better product to our citizens, and if this is the pathway to do it, then so be it. If not, no big deal. We're not tied to anybody right now. If we don't like all 4 of them, we could have said, all right, let's come back to the drawing board and figure out some processes that may be broken or hindered, and figure out a way to make this work. But, you know, in my opinion, we saw 4 great proposals that, you know, I think we should explore, so.
Fair enough. I just want some clarification. Thank you.
Anything else? On golf. Golfed out today.
I am now. I have to go take a nap.
Park maintenance and forestry. David?
Well, good afternoon, everybody. That was quite a lively discussion. My information might not be that lively, but we'll give it a try. 2 things I'd like to bring up before I start. The Fresh Air Baby Camp, a new facility is coming online over there in North Riverside Park. Fresh Air Baby Camp, the old little girl, or Girl Scout Little House is what they called it. And so they've completed their work. The Friends of the Historic Fresh Air Baby Camp completed all their work, and that facility is now getting ready to rent. We had a little ribbon cutting there Friday night, had quite a few people attended it, and I think it's going to make a nice place for people to rent, weddings, that kind of thing. It's not very big, it holds about 50 people, but they've done a really nice job of making the building look brand new, so we got that new facility coming online. The Kansas Single Track group, club, they're folks that ride bicycles off trail, and we have the one trail out at Air Capital Park. Well, they came to us and wanted to do another one down in what we call SARG, the Southeast Arkansas River Greenway, and we have a canoe launch down there, and so they asked if they could put in another single track down there, and they got with it, started back in September, maybe August, and they've already got it completed, and it's getting very close to opening up for people to use it. And the one thing down there that we have a whole lot of illegal riding of motorcycles and ATVs and that kind of thing, and so we're hoping by getting that area activated that it will slow down some of that. And so the bicycle rider guys or people are showing up, and they've already clashed with the ATV guys and the motorcycle guys. So it'll take a while to get things going, but we have 2 new facilities that have opened up recently, and they'll be good assets for our park system. So one thing in this picture here, we have been doing a study. We bought all these bare root trees. Instead of buying trees that are balled and burlapped, which are more expensive, we bought these trees that are smaller trees, and they have a bare root, and you plant those, and when it comes time to transplant them out into the parks, you don't have so much to deal with. And so here's an example of Craig Beaver taking one of those trees out and getting ready to plant it out into the parks. We've had that tree for a year, and what we did, we created this big gravel pit, like a garden, and we planted all those trees in the gravel. And interestingly enough, when it came time to untangle them, the roots untangled, and you can see it has a really healthy root system there. So we're hoping that we can plant more bare root trees and winter them, or summer them, I guess. And then when it comes to the winter months, when you plant trees, we can plant more trees by planting a smaller tree. It's cheaper to buy, that kind of thing. We've also put some of those trees in just mulch. You know, we got lots of mulch. We produce tons of mulch. So if we could do the same bare root method in mulch as compared to the gravel, we can do that because we create lots of mulch. So we're going to do like a 3-year study to see how well these trees that have been bare root trees, and once they plant, and they'll go into the 3-year watering program and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of a neat thing. We're not giving up on the balled and burlap because we have $175,000 to buy balled and burlap trees, so we're going to get some of those as well. But pretty neat little study that we're doing. So you can see the numbers there of the forestry operation. Down there we planted bare root gravel bed trees, 165 trees. So that would give us a pretty good number of trees to watch to see how they do. We've also planted some bare root trees that were grown up in the gravel. We've planted some bare root trees that were planted in the mulch, and we've taken a balled and burlap tree and planted them close to each other so that we can see which tree does the best. And if these kind of trees do just as well as the balled and burlap tree, it's a less expensive way of going about planting trees. So one thing that, of course, for the last 2 weeks, there for a while, we had the big windstorm, so all we did was chase tree branches and down trees and that kind of stuff. So we didn't get as much done for the month because we were dealing with the wind damage. So there's another picture of one of those bare root trees. I've kind of talked about that enough there. You can see how vigorous the root system is on that tree. So we're working on putting it out, an RFP for the replacement of some bucket trucks. We've got the RFP for the replacement of the chipper and the stump grinder going. Loosely work order maintenance is consistent and constant. We got plenty of work to do. We do have a little bit of an issue with our knuckle boom trucks. The booms have cracked. Both of them have cracked at the same time, and that's what we used to use for the large log management, picking up large logs, putting them in a truck. With both of those going down at the same time is putting us in a real bind. So we have a meeting here tomorrow to talk about how we're going to deal with that, how to replace it, how to fix it. They were prototypes, so there isn't any replacement parts for that, for the boom. So we've got a difficult task and decision to work on there. November scheduled activities, of course, we're going to deal with the emergency responses. We're going to do inspections, contract tree removal, all the same things that we normally do. There's a nice little shot of a tree there in Riverside Park. You can see the Riverside Park gazebo in the background. Pretty cool. Construction and special projects. We installed a Kreider Alley and whatever that is, memorial benches. Those are two names of people that have purchased memorial benches, and you can see those in the top few pictures there. So we've sold about 8 or 9 of the memorial benches, and it's about $3,000 for the nice bench, $2,000 for the green one. So we've got that going on. One of the families out there at Swanson Park was the Kaufman Farm family. They bought a bench, and we installed some gates over at the Seneca Park pickleball courts, reading down through there, just pretty much normal stuff that we work on all the time, just repairing things, fixing things. Mounted and installed a sign out there at the Carl G. Brewer Community Center as they get ready to start working on that facility. So a couple of things, you guys can read down through that. Two of the biggest projects we're working on is out there at Harrison Dog Park. We're trying to cut, we only had 2 dog pens, and we're trying to create a third one so that we can allow an area of the park to rest, so that we can recover the turf. And so we're putting in a fence in there to cut off the large dog park. And so that'll give us 3 pens. We'll be able to rest one. We're also putting irrigation out there at Harrison. So those were some of the RFPs that we've been working on. Over at Park Villa, the pond down here, well, you can see one of the lily pads there. The Park Villa Pond, we couldn't get any bids on repairing that, and so we just went out and started asking people that we knew that does the business, and we got Cairo Construction to go in and fix that Park Villa Pond. It was about just short of $20,000, but we've had so many people asking us to get that fixed, so we've got a bid, we got a purchase order. We're going to get Park Villa Pond fixed if anybody asks you about that. We've had a lot of graffiti down at the skate park. We've been working on that.
Question.
Sure.
Is there an opportunity to help mitigate the graffiti at the skate park to just get a big mural painted or something like that in the pool?
That's a great idea. Cities have done that.
Yeah.
Because people respect it, I think, like the skateboard's not doing it, by the way, just saying that. But
No, sure. I mean, like, get something commissioned that encompasses, I mean, maybe we can work with
you
the.
can start with the pillars too that are just there.
Yeah.
Like something.
I mean, most of that's being done, right, on the ramps and in the pool, if I'm understanding it correctly, right?
I've had probably 3 or 4 different discussions with different people over the years of trying to get volunteer groups to come in and do, put murals all the way around in that, because a lot of times once you put a mural up, it cuts down on the graffiti and that kind of thing. But it just never has followed through. Hiring somebody might be the way to go.
Yeah, I think so.
Paying some money to get that done might be a better approach than to try to rely on volunteers. I've got to come up with the funding to do that, because,
I mean, that could be something that we could tap into the Park Foundation for, right?
Possibly,
I mean, those are the types of projects that we want lasting projects, and
I definitely check around everything. I'm here for the skate park stuff, so.
So
the drainage thing.
One of the issues that Troy is talking about, services that we don't provide. We don't provide good enough services on taking care of this place. We should be able to go over there and clean it weekly, if not daily, and we go over and clean it basically monthly. So go ahead, Chris.
You know what, Park Foundation, this is amazing. I don't know, there's energy today. The spirit's moving. It's fantastic. No, I had a meeting last night, actually, just with a friend at the Hill having a beer, and she's a single mom, South Side, works at a law firm, also owns her own business on top of that. But she said, it's really important to me that Wichita gives me opportunities to try to make our city better, and that would be planting trees. If she was like, if there was a one weekend a month where I could show up and have a civilian corps and plant some trees for the park department, hell yes. Or if it could be having a civilian corps that will say, we're going to have an artist design a mural and we're all going to get together and paint it. I don't know, maybe we could have the Park Foundation put the funds together for a volunteer coordinator, because that's what I hear. I hear that you've got thousands of Wichitans who want to make this city look better, and they just need to know that those opportunities are out there. I don't know if that's something that the Park Foundation could find the money for, but I think it's. I hear you saying, we want to do this, and he's saying, how do we make it happen? It sounds to me, you need somebody who can just say, let's wrangle the troops, because we got them.
I mean, I think the big thing would be identifying the cost for actually paying an artist to design the murals and identifying the spaces that will want.
Creating the RFP.
Right, yeah, create an RFP for it, and then, I mean.
Part of the issue is we don't have anybody to spend time to do that.
Yeah.
So a volunteer coordinator would be great, or some other type of position. It doesn't have to be a city employee.
Is this something that like City Arts would be interested in getting involved with?
Ooh, man, that's a great idea.
Why not?
That's a great idea.
Did, you guys spoke to the skate shop owner, Kerosene, right? Did he reach out and talk to you guys about that? Like, he's actually an artist himself, but he knows a lot more artists, so he can help you with that. I think I can get in touch with you guys.
We've had many discussions with many skateboard owners, skateboard shop owners. There's been several of them.
Yeah.
And every time we say, here you go, here's an idea, go make it happen, it ends. It ends. So,
Anything you guys want for the
so there's never a shortage of ideas. There's never a shortage of thoughts. I mean, all this stuff that you're talking about has all been discussed and looked at. The next step is somebody to actually do it, implement it. And I'm waiting for those folks to happen, to come step forward and say, hey, I'm going to go make that happen. We've had a few successes. We do have one gentleman that has helped us organize several cleanups, and he's kind of our volunteer coordinator. But he's only one guy. So we're ready, and if anybody's willing to step up and make that commitment, yeah.
I mean, I guess what are the first step, especially if we're gonna paint, if we want to paint murals or something like that, would the first step be to get an RFP in place?
What's RFP?
It's a request for proposal. And so there's a lot of different ways of making this happen. There could be, but before you even do that, where's the funds to make it happen? Who's going to actually put the RFP out? Who's got time to make all this work?
Right. Yeah.
So those are all the things that need to happen.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily need an RFP.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but
I really like this idea, though. I think this is fantastic.
And then just a number, if you want to talk skate park, lighting, bathrooms, there's a ton of other issues that go along with the downtown skate park and so forth. But yeah, I talked quite a bit about using volunteers last week about last month, McCall Air Force Base.
Right.
Michael McCord's trying to help us out and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
What-
yeah, you
what's
and
your
I need
name?
to get hooked up, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so.
What's your name?
Joseph Dillon.
Joseph? I kind of want to hear you talk about, since you're here for the skate parks, what do you want to see?
Well, I actually originally came here to see if I could donate like a half pipe to the city in like a park situation. Like I'll pay for it and everything. It's just I want to figure out what the way of going about that legally and all that and everything. Or Newton, the high school actually made rails in shop class and they donated it to the skate park. And then Derby just recently upgraded their skate park and played some local people there. So I just want to come and reach out and see what I can do to improve the skateboard scene here.
How about I get your email so that we can start communicating, and then I can talk you through how we accept donations. The city has to accept donations, and then if you're building something like that, we've got to go through all the engineering to make sure it's engineered correctly, all that.
One of my friends actually works for a skate park company, so I don't know if he could help go through that too with you guys. Because I figured you'd have to have, I couldn't just build it, it'd have to be somebody approved by the city or something. And then you'd have to get approved where it would go and all that stuff, so that's why.
And we've got people in our engineering department. Larry Hoopmer is very good. He's extremely educated about skate parks, could help us walk through that process.
One other question I I didn't know if Clap Skate Park, or not skate park, Clap Park was being redone. I saw you guys are putting a pump track in the master plan. I didn't know if there was a skate park included in that. I was here to advocate for a skate park there.
Troy?
This is good.
So it's very opportunistic time for that discussion because we're going from the master plan to making it into actual design. So master plan is really conceptual, and if there is a demand for skateboard activities, we can look at that. There's just a...
Or anything like that for it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring more people with you next time.
One thing about it, you know, we have, 4 skate parks, 4 or 5? We don't have any pump tracks. So the bicycle riders show up at the skate parks, you know, and, yeah, we don't have a pump track, so, but we do have some skate parks already. It's something to think about there. So-
It's Joseph Dillon, correct? Joseph, thanks for showing up. I like the initiative, man, so. That's what we
I'll
need.
grab a pen and we'll exchange email.
Yeah.
But I want to take up this time.
No, you're good. Question, Troy or Dave. Is this in District 1, or what district is the downtown park in? Is it?
It's still in 1.
Still in 1?
District 1, yeah.
Okay.
District 1 has that funny shape
Yeah.
that goes down there, almost clearing to Linwood
Yeah,
Park.
that's why I was curious if it still fell under it. Okay, perfect.
Also, in the Clap region, there's no skate parks in that region. That's the southeast side of Wichita, there's not really anything. There's west side, southeast, west side, and then downtown, and then Edgemore. So, that's the reason I was an advocate for it.
Good points. Any other discussion on that? Nope.
Yeah, do the cyclists get along with anybody? I think,
don't know.
you know, like 3 or 4 years ago, they were mad at the equestrian riders.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now they're mad at the ATV users, or? I mean,
It's like the Jets and the Sharks out there.
Cyclists want to be everywhere. I mean,
So let me add to that. Actually,
Okay.
it's illegal for these motorcycles and ATVs to be out there. And we don't have the manpower to go out there and watch this and monitor. We share this with the police department, but they don't necessarily have this as a high priority for them. So this opportunity to put a trail out there at the area that David was talking about actually helps us out in the long run, because the more activity we have, it actually pushes out illegal activity, such as the ATVs and motorcycles. What those motorcycles and ATVs are doing are actually destroying a lot of natural habitat, creates a lot of erosion, has an impact on wildlife. I mean, I could go on and on and on. There's places that are designed especially for ATVs and motorcycles, and we want them to go to those locations. This opportunity to put some bicycle trails or off-road bicycle trails in actually relieves some of the other areas that we're talking about that have what you were talking about in regards to Pine Prairie Park, where we have bicycles and equestrian in the same spot. But as far as I know, what we've been talking about over at Pine Prairie Park, things have been going great for the past 3 years. We have the bicycle area, it's going really well within the park, and then we also have the area right outside of the park that's going really well as also. The equestrian folks, I haven't heard anything from them, so no news is good news.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny. I think that was actually my first meeting on the park board. There are probably 30 cyclists and 30 equestrian riders, and they're yelling back and forth in this.
Oh my God, really?
So it was
That's
pretty interesting.
amazing.
I had no idea.
Send me the link to that, please.
I had no idea the vitriol between the two groups. But
Listen, dressage is serious business, like, so, I get it.
yeah.
10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, we had a perfect opportunity to create an off-road park out at the Furley site. The city ended up trading out the Furley site to the county for exchange for something, but we had designed a whole off-road park for ATVs, motorcycles, four-wheelers, would have been great, but it never got approved and never got put into motion, so. Water under the bridge right now. Schedule activities, We're removing shade shelter structures at several of the athletic fields. We're going to install some playground equipment up there at the McDonald Park Playground that's on the outside of the golf course there. We're going to continue to prep for snow and ice, rehab bollards and cables down there at Emery Park. We got work to do down at South Lakes, continue playground inspections, respond to graffiti. You can see here, one of our mowers ran into the dugout at South Lake, so we got to fix stuff like that. Always something to do. There again is the picture of the shelter down at North Linwood Park. It's coming along even farther than that. Park maintenance, several maintenance employees attended their pesticide applicators recertification. Summer grounds maintenance activities are winding down. We've issued our last mowing work orders. We did some work at the South Riverside Park there by the tennis center for the frostbite regatta this last weekend to help make that safer. Veterans Memorial Park is being prepared for the Veterans Day coming up this Saturday. Crews have responded to illegal dumpings. Irrigation crews busy winterizing irrigation systems. The RFP for the Harrison Dog Park is due tomorrow, which I talked about the irrigation there, so.
Just really quick, Veterans Day is on Thursday, and there's actually a ceremony over there. And then on the shelter that David was showing, it got caught on fire because of some homeless folks that were making a fire underneath there. And it ended up being close to $400,000 worth of damage just to replace it.
Yeah.
So these are the things that happen that we have to respond to as well, and takes resources away from all the things that we really want to get done.
So one thing I would like to mention, the mowing has stopped here in November, which means that the trash pickup stops as well and doesn't pick up until March. So funding for contracted grounds maintenance leaves a void of keeping our parks looking clean. So I still have volunteer groups and I try to use them for that. But if you're talking 119 parks, 114 parks, the trash service, except for Kellogg and Old Town, it stops from November to March. And so the parks get a little trashy looking over the winter months, so.
This is a perfect example of staffing needs. So we lost the staffing because of contract mowing. The thought was, you know what, we're going to contract, but we're going to be able to relieve the pressure of having so many full-time employees. So they did get rid of the mowers, which is an overhead. They did get rid of the staffing for that, but what's an unintended outcome is we're not able to do actually probably more like 5 months worth of winter work that would normally be done. That just goes away because we don't have the staff to do that, which puts us further and further behind. Those are the type of things I'm talking about in regards to not having enough staff. Not having enough staff to go take care of trash that has come out along Kellogg. I mean, that's one of the areas that we have to maintain. So we have a contractor do that in the summer months, but we don't have anybody doing that during the winter months. Over and over again, we get the question or the assignment, hey, this needs to be taken care of over on the river. This needs to be taken care of over at, because of this parade, we need staffing over there, whatnot. It keeps adding up. And whenever we do that, that means the things that we really need to get done fall off the table, and we get further and further behind.
Okay. Is this because of the structure of that contract with the mowers?
It's because of our structure of our budget.
Yeah, we laid off almost 150, 170 employees that did that winter work, and we've hired that out. And so we have a staff of 70, and then we have vacancies, so we have 40 guys showing up, and we've retained almost 500 acres ourselves to take care of downtown. We get to do that all winter long, but we don't go raise the lower canopy of all the trees to mow under. You know, we don't do all of that, so. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thanks, David. Wichita Parks Foundation.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Troy, the installation of those benches that they paid for, those are going in, correct? So one of the major projects that they came up with through the parks with plates was to create benches that recognized and honored famous Wichitans or different industries in Wichita. And so they provided us an update, but I couldn't remember if they were getting installed or getting ready to get installed.
So there's 13 benches, and I'm hoping that they'll get installed by February.
Okay.
I really thought they'd get installed by November.
Yeah.
And so I was under the impression that they were going to install them, but
Right.
in talking to Brett, that the expectation is our staff is supposed to install them, which is just another project that we need to get done.
Sure.
More work to do.
Yeah. The other thing, though, that was really cool that came out of the Parks Foundation meeting in Troy, I don't know if I can share this or not, but up at Evergreen, there is some cool projects happening around food and food resources in the community, and the Parks Foundation is funding some of those gardens and some of the planting of those trees, which is pretty cool that they're funding that. And then, obviously, I think you all have seen Reflection Park or the updates that are happening to the park in downtown. The Parks Foundation has been really instrumental in helping manage those finances. Yeah.
On the benches, you said there's 13 of them.
Yep.
Are they spread out through the 6
Yes.
districts? Okay, cool.
Yeah, they were, I don't even remember how many, I think they looked at like 50 different
Okay.
locations and benches, and they whittled it down to 13. But
Nice.
staff was really instrumental in helping place those.
Cool.
That's all I got.
Any questions?
On those I have just a quick, I apologize. On those benches, I know that you said that the Park Foundation is donating them to you. Is there an opportunity for a family to buy, like they do at the zoo or park, golf course and stuff like that, if they wanted to spend that money?
So the benches that the Park Foundation funded are artwork, and specifically towards history of Wichita. And so the artist actually made a presentation about what was out there. We do have benches, that's what David was talking about, and they installed memorial benches in different places. And so if that's something somebody wants, they contact us, David works with them, they make a donation. It's a pretty expensive donation, but it's a really great memorial. And we are able to put that out there, but again, that's more work.
No,
for
I
staff.
understand,
But-
I didn't know if we had that opportunity, if
Yeah.
I wanted to buy a bench for you, because you're awesome, I just wanted to know that.
Well, wait till I die first, and then you can take one out.
Doesn't have to be a memorial.
Sitting bench, that's your bench.
We also put a plaque underneath there.
Yeah.
You know, we can put a plaque underneath, it's a small plaque.
It's really nice.
We can do a memorial tree right beside there.
I think there needs to be a picture on that
The
too.
Park Foundation one is like the artist is like designing like a piece of artwork.
No,
So we want
I
Troy's
think
face on a bench.
Yes.
I think it's a
Sculpture
great
is that.
sentiment, and I
The
just think it's
sentiment is we want
awesome.
Troy.
I didn't realize it.
A life-size sculpture right next to it.
No help.
There is a life-size one of Troy downtown, he's going like this.
They're calling
Bronze.
it, listen, I love it. They're calling it Houtmania, and that's really what we got here.
Houtmania.
Houtmania.
Oh, man.
It's getting deep, it's getting late.
I need to eat. I'm done here.
No, I'm kind of enjoying this.
Park Foundation.
If anybody else wants to pile on, feel free. I don't have a president's update that I know of, so I know we've got some staffing updates under the directors, so getting close to 5 o'clock, but Troy, take it away.
I'll make this quick. Last week, we had a presentation at council for our gold medal, and that was great. It was kind of fun. Ice rink, as I mentioned, Friday, we're doing interviews with the two folks that actually put in, or the two businesses that put in an RFP, so pretty excited about that, and we'll see what happens with that. I'll keep you guys up to date. We had a lot of grants come in. Reggie and his team, I think if it's $60,000 for what, 3 different recreation centers?
We got 6 of them, I think, that are actually in place.
So 6 recreation centers got $60,000 grants. That's $360,000. That's huge.
Wow, great work.
So what's always really interesting is when we look at our budget, but there's so many other things that come in, like $100,000 from the Park Foundation for Chester I. Lewis, $8 million for Brewer Recreation Center, just on and on and on. There's just so many things that people don't realize, all the little things that happen to make things move forward in the city for our Parks and Recreation Department, so it's great. The Pickleplex, Carl Brewer Recreation Center, and CLAP, those 3 items, you'll be seeing requests for proposals for final, or for design for those, not final, but for design for those. So that's going to be going out in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's actually 2022 money, but we're actually putting that out now, so once 2022 hits, we can actually start spending that money. My theory on all this is once we get money, I want to spend it in January. I want to get our projects moving forward. So our engineering department is doing a great job in helping us get that done, so that's great. Our forestry and parks folks going to make Christmas happen. We have all of our decorations that are going to happen over in and around Century 2. We're putting 2 live trees up. We put a artificial tree up as well. So we're getting everything ready for the Christmas season. So staff is working hard. Yep.
Good deal. Awesome. Any questions for Troy?
How you doing, Troy?
Has your attitude shifted yet?
Well, I went outside and yeah, it shifted dramatically, 180 degrees. So I'm pretty excited.
Well, if there's anything else that we need to bring up or put on the agenda that we haven't already discussed for next meeting, we can adjourn.
There is one. I'm sorry, I totally forgot. We are going to be bringing a topic next month in regards to one of our neighbors over at College Hill. It's right adjacent to our park, and it's been a situation where there's a driveway that's actually on city property or park property, and they use it for their entranceway into their house. And they actually had an agreement from 50 years ago with the Board of Park Commissioners before it was part of the city, and then it was updated in the 90s, and we're working on an agreement with them. But since that is Board of Park Commissioners property, no wait, that is city property, but we're going to bring it to you guys for a recommendation. So, and the owner's going to come as well. There's precedence of this happening already. It's nothing that I really would do on a regular basis, but since it's already been happening, it's already in place. It's really kind of a difficult thing not to honor it and moving forward. So we'll be sending you some more information before the meeting.
Are these the same folks that were buying the house that wanted to, that the driveway was in the park as well? Is that another one?
That's a different one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up with College Hill?
Driveways and parks.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just want to say, if you guys need help with the skate park stuff, I'm here to help wherever. I want to get the ball rolling on, stuff like that. I want to make a donation of like a half pint at least, or something like that. And are we just going to is the main person to talk to on everything for that going forward?
Hey, what you got?
Advocate for a skate park and clap card. Keep the pump track too. I always love both, and that's about it. I mean,
Awesome. We appreciate you coming in today, man. I love the initiative and, yeah.
everybody complains at the skate park about, I wish they do this. It's like, well, you gotta go tell the people. That's right.
Yeah, that's it. Awesome. Anything else, guys? If not, we can adjourn. Thank you.